Kevin was a lively 10-year-old boy with a big heart and an even bigger love for music. He had always admired Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. For as long as he could remember, Kevin would watch Elvis's movies and listen to his songs, dreaming of the day he could dance like him. When the school announced a talent show, Kevin knew exactly what he wanted to do. On the day of the show, he burst with excitement as he put on his special outfit. His costume was bright white, adorned with sparkling sequins that caught the light perfectly. He even had a cape that flowed behind him as he moved, making him feel just like Elvis himself. With each step, Kevin imagined the roar of the crowd and the thrill of performing on stage. Arriving at the school auditorium, Kevin's heart raced. He spotted a group of friends in the audience and waved eagerly. As he made his way down the aisle, he couldn't help but dance a little, showcasing some of his best Elvis moves. Some kids giggled and pointed, but Kevin didn't mind. He felt a spark of joy coursing through him. This was his moment to shine. At that moment, something magical happened. The sound of laughter caught the attention of the real Elvis Presley, who just happened to be in the audience as a special guest. With a twinkle in his eye, Elvis decided to see what all the fuss was about. He raised his hand and asked for the music to stop. The room fell silent, and all eyes turned toward him, wondering what would happen next. Little did they know that this was only the beginning of an unforgettable experience for Kevin. As Kevin stood in front of the mirror, he couldn't help but grin from ear to ear. The bright colors and sparkly details of his Elvis costume made him feel like a star. His outfit was a dazzling white jumpsuit, decorated with shimmering gold and silver sequins that twinkled like stars when they caught the light. It hugged his frame snugly, making him feel confident and ready to take on the stage. But the best part was his cape. It was a rich, deep blue, flowing like a river behind him as he moved. The cape had a golden trim that glinted in the daylight, making him feel extra special. He could almost hear the pounding of applause in his imagination as he twirled around in front of the mirror, pretending to be the king himself. Kevin carefully styled his hair, slicking it back just like Elvis did. He even added a pair of sunglasses with flashy frames that added to his superstar look. Excitement buzzed through him as he thought about performing for everyone at school, showcasing his dance moves just like his idol. Each flick of his wrists and every twist of his hips brought him closer to living out his dream. As he finished getting ready, Kevin's heart raced with anticipation. He could picture himself on stage, the crowd cheering loudly as he danced. He imagined every step being filled with energy and joy. With each passing moment, he felt his confidence grow, ready to shine brighter than all those twinkling sequins on his costume. When Kevin finally arrived at the school auditorium, he could hardly contain his excitement. The chatter of other kids faded into the background as he focused on the performance ahead. Dressed as Elvis and bursting with enthusiasm, this was his moment to take flight. As Kevin stepped into the auditorium, a wave of excitement washed over him. The room buzzed with energy, filled with kids chatting and laughing. Taking a deep breath, he felt his heart race with joy and nerves at the same time. This was it. He strutted into the space, his cape flowing behind him like a flag of confidence. With each step down the aisle, he couldn't resist the urge to dance. He started by shuffling his feet and swaying his hips, feeling the rhythm of Elvis's music in his mind. His arms moved gracefully as he spun around, showing off his dazzling costume. A few kids turned to watch him, their expressions shifting from surprise to smiles. Some even joined in clapping along to his beat. However, not all reactions were positive. A small group of kids giggled softly at him, pointing and whispering to each other. Kevin caught glimpses of their teasing smiles but quickly brushed aside any doubts. In his heart, he knew he was channeling the spirit of Elvis Presley. He continued to dance with all his might, hoping to win them over. The laughter echoed in the room, but so did the cheers from those who admired his boldness. They clapped and encouraged him, creating a mix of emotions that swirled around Kevin like a whirlwind. His confidence grew stronger as he danced even more energetically, imagining himself on stage under bright lights. As he reached the center of the auditorium, Kevin felt like he was flying high above everyone else. The teasing faded into the background as he lost himself in the music and movement, embodying every bit of Elvis's spirit. Little did he know that this moment would soon lead to something even more extraordinary. As Kevin danced joyfully in the aisle, the energy in the auditorium was palpable. Among the laughter and applause, one figure watched closely from a corner of the room, Elvis Presley himself. Dressed in a stylish jacket and sunglasses, he was there to enjoy the talent show but was instantly captivated by Kevin's spirited performance. Elvis leaned forward in his seat, a smile spreading across his face as he saw the young boy channeling his style with such enthusiasm. The twinkle in Kevin's eyes mirrored the passion Elvis had felt as a young performer. But then, Elvis noticed the teasing laughter from some of the kids, and his heart softened for Kevin. He knew just how difficult it could be to put oneself out there, especially under the watchful eyes of peers. With a gentle determination, Elvis raised his hand and called for the music to stop. The room fell silent, and all heads turned toward him, curiosity piqued. "Let's give this young man some support," he announced with his charming voice, instantly commanding everyone's attention. The audience watched in awe as Elvis stood up and made his way toward the stage. With each step, the excitement grew, and Kevin felt a rush of hope. As Elvis approached, he smiled warmly at Kevin and extended his hand. "Come on up here and show them what you've got," he encouraged. The crowd erupted into cheers, transforming any lingering teasing into a wave of admiration. Kevin's heart soared as he realized that not only had his idol noticed him, but he was also inviting him to share the stage. This simple act of kindness from Elvis brought a sense of validation to Kevin, igniting a spark within him that no amount of laughter could dim. As the applause and laughter echoed through the auditorium, a palpable energy hung in the air when Elvis raised his hand to signal for silence. The music faded away, leaving an expectant hush that settled over the audience like a thick fog. All eyes flickered between Elvis and Kevin, the atmosphere charged with curiosity and excitement. Gasps filled the room as kids leaned forward, their expressions shifting from giggles and laughter to wide-eyed wonder. Many had never seen someone so bold as to dance like that in front of everyone, especially not while dressed as a rock legend. The silence stretched on, each passing second feeling longer than the last. Kevin could feel his heart thumping loudly in his chest, uncertainty creeping in but excitement holding fast. Elvis, with his signature charm and charisma, glanced around the room, soaking in the anticipation. He understood the doubts that might be swimming through Kevin's mind at that moment, and wanted nothing more than to lift him up. The powerful figure stood tall, exuding warmth and encouragement. It was clear he had something special planned. As he stepped forward, a subtle smile graced Elvis's lips, a gesture that sparked hope in Kevin's heart. The audience mirrored the rising tension with a blend of nervousness and thrill. They were waiting for something magical to unfold. Finally breaking the stillness, Elvis called out with a voice that echoed through the space. "Let's give this young man some support." His words were met with a collective gasp followed by cheers that erupted like fireworks. Everyone felt a rush of relief mixed with excitement as Kevin's eyes lit up with hope. In that suspenseful pause, he realized that not only had he captured Elvis's attention, but the king himself was about to change his life forever. As Elvis called out for Kevin to join him on stage, the auditorium fell into a hushed awe. For Kevin, that moment felt surreal. It was as if time stood still while his heart raced like a drumbeat in his chest. Waves of excitement mixed with nervousness surged through him, making his palms feel sweaty and his legs tingle. Could this really be happening? With a deep breath, he took his first step toward the stage, the bright lights illuminating his path and reflecting off the sequins of his costume. Each step felt monumental, as if he was walking on clouds. The audience watched with bated breath, their cheers filling the room, echoing in Kevin's ears like a magic spell that pushed him forward. Kevin's eyes locked onto Elvis, who stood at center stage with open arms and an encouraging smile that made him feel both calm and exhilarated. For a fleeting moment, all the teasing laughter faded away, replaced by a sense of belonging and excitement that filled him up. He could hardly believe that not only had he captivated Elvis's attention, but now he had the chance to share the stage with the king himself. As he reached the edge of the stage, Kevin hesitated for just an instant, glancing back at his classmates. The sea of familiar faces beamed with support instead of ridicule. Some were cheering loudly while others clapped in rhythm to inspire him. With renewed courage swelling inside him, he stepped onto the stage. Elvis grasped Kevin's hand gently and pulled him close, signaling for him to show off his moves. In that magical moment, nothing else mattered. He was dancing with his idol. As they began to groove together, Kevin's nerves washed away entirely. The thrill of performing enveloped him completely as he let loose, embodying every bit of Elvis's spirit right alongside the man himself. As Kevin found his rhythm on stage, the energy in the auditorium shifted dramatically. The crowd erupted into applause, cheers rising like a wave. They had been captivated by this magical moment, and the atmosphere felt electric as Elvis began to mirror Kevin's dance moves. Elvis leaned down, playfully imitating Kevin's spins and shuffles. He exaggerated his movements, adding a playful flair that made the audience laugh and cheer even louder. "Come on, show them your best moves!" Elvis encouraged with a wink, igniting a sense of confidence in Kevin that surged through him like fireworks. The audience was completely enchanted, clapping and dancing along with the infectious rhythm. Their joy was palpable as they witnessed this unique duet between the young boy and his idol. Faces lit up with excitement, many cheering Kevin's name, creating a chorus of support that echoed throughout the room. Every step and every twirl Kevin took was met with shouts of encouragement. "You've got this!" someone yelled from the back, while others joined in with rhythmic claps. The crowd formed a bond with Kevin, celebrating his bravery and talent. As Elvis danced beside him, it felt as though Kevin was no longer just a young boy in a costume. He had transformed into a superstar. With Elvis at his side, Kevin let go of any lingering worry about teasing and fully embraced the joy of performing. Together, they moved across the stage, sharing laughter and energy that radiated out towards the audience. In that blissful moment, Kevin realized he was not just dancing, he was part of something larger, a celebration of imagination, passion, and the love of music. The applause felt like a warm hug, wrapping around him in affirmation of his dreams. This was more than just a performance. It was a moment he would treasure forever. As Kevin and Elvis danced together, the energy in the auditorium reached a fever pitch. The audience couldn't contain their excitement, erupting into cheers that echoed throughout the room. It was as if every clap and shout created a symphony of support, celebrating not just Kevin's bravery but also Elvis's incredible kindness in lifting the young boy's spirits. Faces lit up with joy, and many kids stood on their feet, clapping rhythmically in time with the music. "Go, Kevin!" shouted one enthusiastic voice from the back, which sparked a wave of similar shouts and cheers. The energy was infectious. Soon, everyone was joining in, creating an atmosphere filled with warmth and encouragement. Parents smiled proudly, some even wiping away tears of joy as they witnessed this heartfelt moment unfold before their eyes. For them, it was more than just a performance. It was a celebration of dreams coming true. The resonance of their cheers filled the air like a powerful wave, underscoring how special this occasion had become for Kevin. In that moment, every ounce of doubt that may have lingered in Kevin's mind vanished completely. No longer did he feel like just a boy dressed as Elvis, he felt like an equal dancing beside his idol. As he twirled and spun, the sounds of applause wrapped around him like a warm blanket. It was validation for his courage to dance despite fear and teasing. The audience's cheers seemed to lift him higher as he danced with newfound confidence. They were not only applauding his performance but celebrating his spirit, the courage to be himself and follow his dreams. Each cheer amplified his joy and reminded him that he was not alone. He had the support of everyone around him cheering him on passionately. In that magical moment shared on stage with Elvis, surrounded by roaring applause, Kevin felt invincible, an experience he would carry in his heart forever. As Kevin danced alongside Elvis, a wave of overwhelming joy washed over him. The bright lights of the auditorium felt warm and inviting, illuminating his sparkling costume and highlighting the sheer happiness radiating from his smile. With every twirl and spin, he felt a sense of belonging that he had longed for, as if he were no longer just a boy dressed as Elvis but part of something extraordinary. He glanced at the audience, their faces lit with excitement and admiration. The cheers seemed to echo in his heart, wrapping around him like a comforting embrace. Kevin's laughter bubbled up as he shared playful moves with Elvis, who encouraged him with every step. It was a moment that transcended everything. Teasing, doubt, and fear vanished into thin air. Elvis's presence felt like magic, empowering Kevin to let loose and express himself fully. As they danced together, Elvis occasionally mirrored Kevin's quirky spins or added his own flair, igniting giggles from both Kevin and the audience. With each playful gesture from Elvis, Kevin's confidence soared higher. The validation he felt in that moment transformed his previous doubts into pure joy. The audience's cheers grew louder with every beat of the music, creating an atmosphere bursting with encouragement. "You're amazing!" someone shouted from the crowd, and those words filled Kevin's heart with warmth. He couldn't help but grin wider. It felt like a dream come true. In that moment on stage, he realized he was not just performing, he was living his dream. The applause swelled around him like waves crashing on a shore as he twirled one last time beside Elvis, feeling as though he could fly. This was more than just dancing. It was a celebration of him being true to himself, surrounded by love and support, a memory he would cherish forever. As the applause faded and the lights dimmed, Kevin stood on stage, still buzzing with the joy of his unforgettable experience. He had stepped into the spotlight as a shy boy dressed as Elvis, but he left as a confident performer who had danced with his idol. This remarkable transformation was not just about the performance. It was a testament to the power of kindness and encouragement. Elvis's simple act of inviting Kevin on stage had changed everything for him. It reminded everyone in the auditorium, including Kevin, that kindness has the ability to uplift spirits and inspire dreams. In a world where teasing and laughter can sometimes sting, Elvis chose to celebrate Kevin's bravery and passion instead. That moment resonated deeply, not only for Kevin but for all the children watching. They witnessed how one person's kindness could light up a room and transform fear into joy. As Kevin reflected on his experience, he felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He realized that it was not just about dancing or being on stage. It was about embracing who he was and having the courage to shine. His heart swelled with hope as he thought about the impact this experience would have on him moving forward. He hoped that others would feel inspired to follow their passions, no matter how silly or outlandish they might seem. The auditorium had become a space of acceptance and support, where dreams were nurtured rather than mocked. Kevin knew that if he could dance with Elvis, then anything was possible. With newfound determination, he vowed to pursue his love for performing without hesitation. This magical moment would live on in his heart, serving as a constant reminder that kindness can create ripples of positivity, encouraging others to embrace their own passions and shine brightly in their unique ways.